Hello, welcome to my new nursery. This is not the setup that I kind of thought it would be in terms of filming, but I really wanted to show it off, especially because I've been filming all my last few videos in my office, which is a very, very small box room. So yeah, the nursery is done, decor-wise at least. So as you can see, we've got new radiator cover, new walls, new ceiling, bit of bunting, my lamp from our bedroom. And I'm currently sitting on this chair, which is not sticking around, but it was in here, so I'm using it. But yeah, really excited that the nursery has finally come together, and it's got a new carpet, which is like a rug. It is so soft. And I just love coming in here and just sort of picturing how it's all going to be. And on my right here is loads of boxes. There's a Moses basket, a rocker, baby changing mat, and a box full of like bits and pieces that we've accumulated. We really don't have much at the moment in some ways, because we don't have like, well, as you can see, we don't have the crib or the dresser or wardrobe, but it's all coming together, and I feel like we're getting somewhere, because especially when all this sort of coronavirus stuff started, I felt like I wouldn't have been able to get anything, or things would go out of stock, or what they have, but I thought that even getting the carpet done and things would have been a real hassle. And luckily, with being safe, you know, in our own home, we've managed to just get these things done, in, out and gone, which has been a blessing, because it's just so nice to have this room done. When we moved in, it was such a wreck, and it had like stains all over the walls because of like the damp, and it wasn't a comfy room to be in. But now it's really cozy, and just I can't wait to fill it with stuff, and then obviously the baby. So my 22-week update, which I did film, but I don't think I'm going to include now, to be honest, because it was just me sitting in here saying the carpet's coming and I'm feeling good, which was kind of all it was. But then after that, had a bit of a blip. That weekend, that week I filmed it, I literally said I haven't cried this week, and then this week, or that weekend, sorry, I did end up having a bit of a meltdown and just had a work drama that really got me down. I had lockdown, sort of hatred towards lockdown, and just felt really quite low. And obviously with pregnancy, it just kind of every now and then gets on top of you, and I think we're all feeling that anyway with coronavirus. And then last week was a pretty good week. I think I'm starting to feel that sort of change of being sort of pregnant, and you know, everything's like lovely, to get into that point where it's like I need to slow down a little bit, not massively because I'm not huge or anything yet, but I'm starting to feel like, oh, there's a bump there and I need to slow down and things like that. So if I kind of recap the last week, because that's kind of been where I've noticed that the most. As you can probably hear, I'm very bunged up at the moment because I've got hay fever, which is great, especially now we're allowed outdoors. I'm really struggling with hay fever, so I've managed to get some hay fever tablets from my nurse, who authorised them, which has been really like helpful, but they haven't really kicked in yet. So I'm really like, please can you start working? And I've got some eye drops as well, which do really help, especially in the morning and evening. So there are some out there. If you know, if you're not high risk or anything like that, then at least it's nice to know that there are hay fever options, because people recommend things, but you don't know if that's safe for you, and you want your doctor's permission. So that was good. I got those last Friday. Oh yes, so today I went to the doctor, had to do a drive-in appointment. It's a bit like going to McDonald's but without the burger. And I had to drive in, and then they listened to my chest, because I've been having really fast heartbeats. And it was only like a couple of weeks ago that it really happened, and I didn't really think about it. And then I had my 24-week phone call appointment yesterday, and I mentioned it to my midwife, and she was a bit concerned. So she wanted to check there wasn't a heart murmur, which luckily my doctor says there isn't, so that was fine. It was really easy, to be fair, and I wish more appointments were that quick and simple. But yeah, she said it was all fine, so that was a nice reassurance, because obviously my heart I can't really mess around with. So I did get that checked as soon as I could, and that's all fine. I think it's just I'm small, hormones, heartbeat and all the rest of it, as in you've got a lot of blood going on at the moment. It's probably just a lot for my body to kind of handle and get used to, because now in the last few weeks it's kind of calmed down. So it's a bit of a worry yesterday, but it's calmed down now, so I'll just let it be. It's another thing to add to the list of things that hormones do to you. Besides that, everything else is fine. The bump has got really big in the last 2 weeks, and now I've reached that 24-week stage. I feel like things are a bit more official now, and I don't know why. I think it could be that like a lot of your documents and official things that you get given say you should start thinking about the kicks and things like that from 24 weeks onwards, or if anything happens from 24 weeks, that's when you need to kind of act on it even more so. I mean, you have to act on it anyway, but you know what I mean. So I think I've started to feel like, right, it's not my third trimester, but I feel like I'm starting to reach that, right, things are more important to be aware of. So I'm trying to slow down, as I say, and although I want to speed up because, you know, lockdown's easing a little, and things like I can even go to the shops now. So 2 weeks ago, I think it was, pregnant people were taking out the shielded category, so it meant I can even just go to like the shops. And obviously I'm being extremely careful when I do go there, going when it's quiet on my own, being careful what I pick up, and, you know, just getting what I need and going and everything like that. But when you've been locked up for essentially 10 weeks and you haven't even been able to go to Marks and Spencer's to choose a fancy pack of biscuits, it's hard on the mental health side of things. So it was such a joy when I could go out for the day and pick up everything I wanted. And I even had a socially distanced picnic with my parents, who I haven't seen for weeks as well. So it was just nice to have an element of normality. And I know that a lot of people have already been able to go to the shops, so it probably doesn't mean much to you. But when you can't do these things, it's one of those things that you want it more than ever. So I'm really hoping that as well, in 2 weeks' time, when the shops, the non-essential shops open, that I'll be able to dip my toes into shopping a bit more. I'm worried about them being rammed because, as we've seen with IKEA, people are queuing for things they don't need. But it's kind of one of those things that what I really wish I could just do is look at things, and I'm finding it overwhelming if I can see baby clothing shops, as in your supermarkets or whatever. I find it really overwhelming because the choice is limited, so you just feel like you've got a smaller selection to look at and you can't compare it. I've not had the chance to go to a shopping centre and look in all the shops and then go back into the one I wanted. It's very much, you're looking at this set item and you think, I don't know if that's the right size, if that's the right thing, is how many of those do I need? And it's all overwhelming. But then when you go and shop online, you just end up buying by price or, you know, basics, because you're not sure. It feels weird to just buy one item, because then it's like, well, I still need 10 of those one items. So it can be a bit overwhelming. And I think that's the bit I'm really missing, just the ease of just going out, buying a few bits, coming back and knowing you can do it often. But I'm going to see how that sort of transition of non-essential shops goes, and if people are stupid and idiots like we often see on the news, then I'll wait until it's the right time to do those kind of things, because we have still got 3 months to go. And I think Dan and I have both said that we'll wait until July to do the, you know, start looking at buggies and car seats and stuff, because we can't buy those online. Like, we physically can, but I don't, that's the one experience, is like, you always picture yourself going into John Lewis and being able to push the pram around and try it out. And I want to know that I can lift it, because I am not, if you look at these guns, they're not big. So I need to be able to be sure I can physically lift it, because I'll be with them most of the time. So it's all those little bits that are starting to make me feel a bit more optimistic. And maybe it is an element of being too optimistic, but you need something to keep you going at the moment, otherwise it can be very, very draining and hard. And I'm very aware that Corona is still here, but, you know, there's a baby coming soon. I can't put my life on hold at this point, because it's not just my life, it's her life, and I need to be sure that I've got everything I could possibly need and want. And it already, so many experiences have been taken from us. But for people that are giving birth now, it must be such a blessing even to know that you can sit in a garden together and your parents can see the baby. It must be really reassuring. So we're seeing baby steps quite literally, and hopefully it will work. I just wish our government was a little bit better, but what are you going to do? But yes, besides all of that stuff, everything is good. The bump is huge, and, well, it feels bigger than it was, say, a couple of weeks ago. I think it's definitely sort of feeling like it's more like a round circle. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, that's kind of me in an update. Everything is good. I'm fairly happy at the moment. I think because I'm starting to see people as well, that's really helping. And I'm hoping, massive fingers crossed, I can get back into the office in July at the sort of earliest. Or latest, shall I say, because I just miss having a normal job to go to. Even though I didn't do normal hours, it was just something that gave me a purpose, and I'm really struggling just constantly trying to find the motivation every day to keep working from home. So I really would like to be back, because for me it'll be 2 months back and then I'll be off. So I don't want to just spend the 2 years of my life at home. That's just not how I am as a person. Even when I'm going on maternity, I'm still probably going to want to work in very small elements. So it's hard, but we're getting there, and I do feel like there are changes coming. So I hope you found this week's update interesting. As I said, there's not really much to update really, but the kicks are sort of not slowed down, because that's not the right term at all, but she's finding her rhythm. And like, she had her crazy moment a few weeks ago where it was like insane kicks, and now I think she's like, right, I'm pretty happy, I know what I'm good doing, morning, lunch and evening I'm gonna perk up, and after, she likes food. So those kind of things are coming through, which is really nice. So that's my update for 22 to 24 weeks. If you want to see any more sort of stuff that's going on behind the scenes, you can follow me on Instagram at the Lisa Type, and I look forward to seeing you over there. So yeah, now onto the bump shot, the bit you'll probably wait for, and we will catch up in 2 weeks' time.